In 1899, he builds a new lab in the prairie near Colorado Springs.
Hollow blood vessel structure has been layered inside this one, and a syringe-like print head has a different purpose.
Nikola Tesla was an engineer who was ahead of his time and made some pretty incredible inventions.
For his dream of wireless power transmission to work, he needs to find a way to electrify the atmosphere.
But did you know one of them wasn't revealed until 116 years later? From accessible wireless energy to a military weapon that could create world peace, not all of Tesla's inventions saw the light of day. 1. The invention that was ignored. Nikola Tesla believed that everything, including energy, is connected through light. He saw light as a universal force capable of fueling humanity's progress. To him, the sun wasn't just a source of warmth. It was the key to unlocking limitless energy for the entire planet. Tesla's ideas included harnessing the Earth's natural electrical charge and transforming it into a sustainable, free energy source. His concept of wireless energy was meant to remove the need for coal, oil, or any traditional power generation. Tesla envisioned a world where anyone could access electricity from the sky, no wires needed, and no big corporations to charge you for it. Sadly, this grand vision faced major pushback, since those with vested interests in fossil fuels were too afraid for the loss of their profits. 2. Wardenclyffe Tower, the wireless energy project that could have changed the world. One of Tesla's most ambitious projects was Wardenclyffe Tower, a massive structure on Long Island, New York, designed to transmit wireless electricity across the globe. If this had succeeded, we would be living in a world where power could travel through the air. No more power lines, no more charging stations. Wardenclyffe Tower was supposed to be the first step toward that future. Like and subscribe right now, and you'll have amazing luck for the rest of the week. Tesla wanted to send electricity to every corner of the Earth using the atmosphere and the Earth's natural energy. If successful, it could have provided free, limitless energy to everyone, regardless of their location. Unfortunately, the project was abandoned after financial backers, fearing they couldn't make money from free electricity, pulled their support. The tower was never completed, and Tesla's vision of a wireless energy network was buried along with it. Had it been given a chance, Wardenclyffe Tower could have revolutionized how we generate and use energy, and who knows where we'd be today with such technology. 3. But the corporate greed was too much. Tesla's ideas were revolutionary, but not everyone was excited about them, especially big businesses. You see, Tesla's inventions, particularly his vision for wireless, free energy, posed a serious threat to companies profiting from coal, oil, and other fossil fuels. They couldn't exactly charge people for something that came straight from the sky. Many believe that corporate greed led to the suppression of Tesla's groundbreaking discoveries. Powerful energy companies and their investors had too much to lose if Tesla's free energy ideas became mainstream. Rather than embracing a cleaner, more efficient way to power the world, they chose to bury Tesla's work, keeping the world dependent on polluting energy sources. 4. But that isn't the only one of his inventions that never the light of day. In the 1930s, Nikola Tesla introduced the world to his idea of a death ray, which he believed could change how wars were fought. He called it the Teleforce, or non-dispersive concentrated energy projector. Tesla imagined this device could shoot a powerful energy beam that could bring down enemy planes from 250 miles away. Sounds pretty crazy, right? But Tesla was serious. He claimed this invention would make countries invulnerable to attacks, creating peace because no one would want to risk starting a war. But despite his ambitious claims, Tesla never actually built a working version of this weapon. His idea was groundbreaking, but largely theoretical. Even today, with all our advanced technology, no one has built anything quite like it. 5. Tesla's death ray wasn't just a random idea. He had a detailed concept for how it would work. It involved using high-voltage electricity to shoot out electrically charged particles, creating a super-strong energy beam.
For his dream of wireless power transmission to work, he needs to find a way to electrify the atmosphere.
Tesla described using an open-ended vacuum tube, which would allow these particles to move at incredible speeds, up to 270,000 miles per hour. This energy beam, according to Tesla, would be strong enough to take down enemy planes from a great distance. He also proposed a gas jet seal to keep the vacuum in place so the particles wouldn't lose speed. While the concept sounds amazing, the technology needed to build such a device wasn't available during Tesla's time. Even now, it's hard to say if his idea would have worked in real life. 6. But how is this any different from modern-day lasers? Tesla's death ray and modern lasers might sound similar, but they're actually quite different. The death ray was based on the idea of shooting electrically charged particles at high speeds to create a destructive energy beam. On the other hand, modern lasers use light. More specifically, they work by exciting atoms or molecules to produce a focused beam of coherent light. While lasers are widely used today in medicine, manufacturing, and even military applications, Tesla's death ray was never fully realized. The big difference is that Tesla's concept remained theoretical, while lasers have been developed and perfected over time. Lasers are now an essential tool in many fields, showing how far technology has come since Tesla's day. 7. Unfortunately, we'll never see it come to life. When Tesla passed away in 1943, his work on the death ray didn't end up in a museum or on display. Instead, much of his research, including his notes on the death ray, mysteriously disappeared. This led to all kinds of rumors and conspiracy theories. Some people believe that governments or secret organizations may have taken Tesla's papers to either continue his work or hide it forever. Was there something more to the death ray than we know? Could it have worked, and was it too powerful to be made public? The truth is, no one really knows. 8. Tesla also had another plan to stop war. One of the craziest ideas Tesla ever had was creating automated ships that could act like intelligent beings, taking over the jobs of soldiers on the battlefield. Instead of sending humans into danger, Tesla envisioned these machines navigating the seas and carrying out attacks all on their own. He called this concept tell-automatic art. Tesla believed that these guys could follow commands sent through wireless signals, reacting quickly to what was happening around them. This fleet of boats could operate without anyone on board, making decisions based on the information they received. This shift could not only save lives, but also change the very nature of naval battles. 9. Tesla's machines were designed to act like humans, but without any people actually on board. He imagined vessels that could move and react just like we do, using what he called tell-automatic technology. These automated ships were equipped with motors and could follow commands sent wirelessly by an operator far away. Tesla believed that with the right technology, these vessels could do everything a human crew could do: navigate, respond to obstacles, and even perform attacks. To make it all work, he focused on creating devices that could mimic human senses. For instance, one machine acted like an ear, picking up signals from a transmitter and responding accordingly. This means that even though there was no one physically controlling the ship, it could still follow directions perfectly. It's kind of similar to the Optimus robot that Elon Musk's Tesla has managed to make. So in a way, his vision did come to life. 10. But this would be the ultimate weapon of destruction. One of Tesla's most exciting and scary ideas was the tidal wave, a weapon designed to create massive waves capable of wiping out enemy fleets. He thought about using explosives placed under the water to generate these enormous waves, which would be unleashed by his automated machines. By doing this, he believed he could create a single, powerful swell that would surge forward, crashing down on anything in its path.
Tesla valve cannot block the flow completely, but this single-piece valve is highly durable, since it provides more resistance to the flow in one direction without any moving parts.
Tesla explained that when you explode a certain amount of explosive underwater, it could push water up in a way that created this tidal wave. It wasn't just any wave. This was a force of nature that could devastate even the biggest battleships. The tidal wave could rise and crashed down with immense power, making it impossible for traditional ships to survive. 11. But neither of these came to life. Despite the excitement around Tesla's inventions, many of his groundbreaking ideas never became reality. Why? Well, one reason was that the technology needed to build his automatic machines and tidal wave generators simply wasn't ready back then. Tesla was a visionary, often thinking way ahead of his time, but sometimes that meant he was left with ideas that were hard to implement. He faced many challenges, including a lack of funding and support for his projects. While he had the genius to create these incredible concepts, finding the resources and backing to bring them to life was tough. On top of that, the political climate of his time made it difficult for radical ideas like his to gain traction. Countries were more focused on traditional military power than on revolutionary technologies. 12. What about the earthquake machine? Nikola Tesla was known for his crazy ideas, but one that stands out is his earthquake machine. This machine, officially called an electromechanical oscillator, was meant to create powerful vibrations. Tesla thought these vibrations could shake buildings and other structures. He built it back in 1893 using steam power to get it going. The machine worked by pushing a piston back and forth, which made everything around it vibrate. Some people say he even caused chaos in his New York City lab when it created such strong vibrations that things started moving around. People nearby complained, and even the police showed up. 13. It was a very complicated idea. At its heart, the machine had an oscillator. Think of it like a toy that makes sounds when you shake it. Tesla's device used a piston in a cylinder to create vibrations. This piston moved back and forth, which made everything shake. Sometimes air was trapped behind the piston to help it work better. It was kind of like having a spring that made the vibrations stronger. Tesla even made it so you could power it with steam or electricity, which helped him control how fast it shook. There was also a special tuning mechanism to adjust the vibrations, like turning a knob on a radio to find your favorite station. If everything was set just right, it could match the natural frequency of a nearby building and make it vibrate. 14. Tesla had some big ideas about what his earthquake machine could do. He said that if you tuned it just right, it could shake entire buildings. One of the craziest stories came from 1898 when he was experimenting in his lab. He claimed that the vibrations were so strong that they made things move around and even scared his neighbors. People said they heard loud noises and saw things shaking. At one point, Tesla joked that he had to break the machine with a hammer to stop it before the police arrived. Later, he made even bigger claims, saying that a small amount of pressure could bring down giant buildings like the Empire State Building. But were these claims too far-fetched? To find out, some modern scientists took a closer look. 15. And their findings were pretty interesting. The main idea behind Tesla's machine was something called resonance. This means that if you vibrate something at just the right frequency, it can shake really hard. You've seen this happen when a singer breaks a glass with their voice. But Tesla's claims about causing earthquakes were seen as more myth than reality. In 2006, a team on the show Mythbusters tried to recreate his earthquake machine using modern tools. The team found that while they could shake things, it wasn't enough to cause any major damage. Their tests showed that Tesla's claims were probably exaggerated, and the science behind the machine didn't really back up the idea that it could take down buildings or cause seismic activity. 16. But none of these inventions was anything like the thought camera. One of Tesla's coolest concepts was the thought camera, a device he believed could actually take pictures of our thoughts. Imagine being able to capture a snapshot of what's going on in your mind. Tesla thought that every thought has its own special frequency and vibration, just like sound waves. If we could tap into that energy, he believed we could create a machine that turns our mental pictures into real images. This idea was way ahead of its time, hinting at the connection between technology and psychology, long before things like brain-computer interfaces became a reality. Even though Tesla's ideas might have seemed a bit out there, they showed his curiosity about the human mind. The thought camera wasn't just an invention, it was Tesla exploring how we understand consciousness. 17. But the idea wasn't easy to bring to life. Tesla was thinking of a device that translates brain waves into pictures. This device was an artificial retina, which you can think of as a super high-tech eye that could see thoughts instead of light. This artificial retina would capture the unique frequencies that our thoughts give off and turn them into images. Tesla also thought about using photographic techniques to record these mental snapshots, kind of like how a camera takes photos. But this device had very mixed feelings. Some were really excited about his imaginative ideas, especially since he was the genius who brought electricity to homes and pioneered wireless communication. But many scientists and skeptics thought the thought camera was too far-fetched. Critics argued that there wasn't enough scientific proof to support such bold claims about turning mental images into visuals. While the thought camera was never invented, it made the foundation for future invention. 18. Like the Neuralink. Neuralink is a cool company started by Elon Musk back in 2016. Its big goal is to create a special connection between our brains and computers. This technology, called a brain-computer interface, would let people control devices just by thinking. Think of it as a link that sits just below your skull. It connects to your brain using super-thin threads with tiny sensors. These sensors can pick up signals from your brain and send that information to computers without any wires getting in the way. This could change how we use technology forever. Right now, Neuralink is focusing on helping people with serious medical issues, like those who can't move because of an injury. By understanding brain signals, this device could help them move again or communicate in new ways. But there are also big dreams about how this tech could change life for everyone, especially when it comes to working with artificial intelligence. 19. It stands out from everything else from the tech world. The device uses flexible threads with a whopping 1,024 tiny sensors that can read brain signals super well. This special design means it won't hurt the brain as much when it's put in, making it safer than older methods that used bigger sensors on the surface. Getting the device inside your head is done by a special robot. This robot is built to place the threads exactly where they need to go in the brain, which helps keep everything safe and makes the surgery easier. After surgery, the link is hidden from view and charges without any plugs, which is really handy for patients. 20. Not to mention, it could have many benefits. Neuralink's main goal is to help people who really need it, especially those with serious health problems. If someone can't move because of an injury or a disease, with Neuralink, they could control computers or even robotic arms just by thinking about it. This technology could make life a lot better for these folks, helping them regain some independence. Right now, Neuralink is testing its device on humans to see how well it works and if it's safe. They want to know if it can really understand brain signals and turn them into actions that make sense. 21. And that's why ethics is such a big question. As Neuralink moves closer to using its technology in humans, it brings up some important questions about right and wrong. Putting devices inside people's brains could be amazing, but it also raises issues like privacy and consent. What if our thoughts could be turned into commands? This opens up concerns about who could access our minds and how that information could be used. Another big question is about fairness. If Neuralink works, will only wealthy people be able to use it? This could create a bigger gap in healthcare, making it harder for everyone else to get help. Plus, if people start having special brain abilities, how might that change how we interact with one another? 22. There's a lot of risks involved. Getting a Neuralink brain implant sounds exciting, but it's important to know there are some risks involved. First off, there are the surgical risks that come with any operation. This includes things like bleeding, infection, and issues related to anesthesia. Since this surgery is on the brain, it requires incredible precision. If the implant isn't placed correctly, it could harm brain function, leading to serious problems. Recovery can also be tough, and patients might feel uncomfortable for a while, which could affect their daily lives. Once the implant is in place, there are biological risks to think about too. The body might react to the implant like it's a foreign object, causing inflammation or trying to push it out. We still don't know how the body will respond in the long term. 23. It's similar to 3D printed organs. These are basically copies of real organs made using 3D printing technology, just like how a regular 3D printer makes toys or tools. The difference is that instead of using plastic or metal, 3D bioprinters use living cells and other biological materials to build organs layer by layer.
A hollow blood vessel structure has been layered inside this one, and a syringe-like print head has a different purpose.
Scientists create a digital design for the organ, and the printer builds it, almost like putting together pieces of a puzzle. The big goal here is to solve the huge problem of organ shortages. Thousands of people need organ transplants every year, but there aren't enough donors. With 3D printing, doctors hope to one day make organs on demand, cutting down the long wait times for transplants. 24. The process is actually pretty straightforward. Scientists use something called a 3D bioprinter, which works kind of like a regular 3D printer. Instead of ink or plastic, it uses bio-ink, which is made up of living cells and special materials that help create the structure of the organ. The printer then builds the organ layer by layer, following a digital blueprint that tells it exactly how to put everything together. What's really cool is that these living cells come from the patient who needs the organ. Scientists take stem cells, special cells that can turn into any type of cell the body needs, and program them to become the right type of cells for the organ they're printing.
So far, the team has been able to create a structure similar to a human vein, about 2 inches long and half a centimeter in diameter, that could actually pump fluid on its own.
Whether it's a heart, lung, or liver, each organ has different types of cells that need to be arranged just right. 25. But what is it even made of? When it comes to 3D printed organs, bio-ink is the star of the show. Bio-ink is a mix of living cells and other materials that help create the shape and structure of the organ. It's sort of like the ink in your regular printer, except it's alive. The cells used in bio-ink are usually stem cells, which are special because they can turn into any type of cell the body needs, like skin, muscle, or organ cells. Scientists don't just throw any cells into the bio-ink though. They carefully pick the right ones, depending on the organ they're printing. These cells are mixed with something called biopolymer hydrogels, which act like glue to hold everything together while the organ is being built. The hydrogel also protects the cells during the printing process, making sure they stay alive and healthy. 26. But there's also issue of access and inequality. Right now, organ transplants are already expensive, and some people are worried that 3D printed organs could be even more costly, especially when the technology first becomes available. If these organs end up being super expensive, it might mean only wealthy people can afford them, leaving others without access to life-saving treatments. This could create an even bigger gap between rich and poor when it comes to healthcare. Another concern is that people in wealthy countries might get access to 3D printed organs faster than those in less developed countries. That's a problem because people all over the world need organ transplants, and it wouldn't be fair if only certain countries could benefit from this technology. Does Nikola Tesla have any other inventions that no one got to see? What other inventions did we never find out about?